Let's start with a few things on which we can all agree, chief among them that public interest journalism is a good thing. The Fourth Estate has a crucial role in holding power to account. The big stories that journalists uncover can spark meaningful change, Watergate, or the Moonlight State corruption revelations in Queensland, or the Spotlight team at the Boston Globe that uncovered sexual abuse by the clergy. As the Senate inquiry on the future of public interest journalism in Australia heard the year, there is also broad agreement that this type of activity is now in peril. Putting public broadcasters to one side, all the big commercial institutions that used to produce public interest journalism are increasingly starved of cash as Google and Facebook relentlessly hoover up advertising dollars, all while paying depressingly little tax. According to the MEAA, more than 3,000 Australian journalists have lost their jobs since 2011, and this mirrors a global trend. Meanwhile, pretty much every media organisation is struggling with precarious funding. Many new players, as well as many once great and powerful media companies, now devote much of their time to discussing paywall strategy and begging readers for donations. Time they once spent scaring the wits out of politicians and business leaders is now spent fighting for survival. I think most people broadly understand this, and share in an increasing sense of the urgency to do something to disrupt the dominance of spin, misinformation and fake news. But for all of this, I don't think our understanding of public interest journalism captures anything close to the full spectrum of what has already been lost and needs to be recreated. As 2017 draws to a close, I'd like to propose a fuller and more nuanced account of the ways in which public interest journalism serves the public. It's hard to talk about what isn't happening, so I'll start with my local newspaper, The Age. These days it's light as a feather compared to the brick of a decade ago. But, interestingly, what's missing is not the investigative reporting. That vital work is still being done, and to a very high standard. Think of the Richard Baker, James Massola and Nick Mackenzie story about Chinese political donor, Huang Xiaogmo that led to the demise of Senator Sam Dastyari, or the work led by Adele Ferguson and the ABC's Four Corners on the Commonwealth Bank, or pretty much anything by the Sydney Morning Herald's Kate McCly MOT. What's missing is pretty much everything else that has been dropped to balance the books. Essays and reviews of significant new art and music and theatre used to demand a separate fat weekend supplement. Coverage of the city, of local councils, of state politics is so much thinner than it used to be. Reporters are clearly no longer spending as much time with ethnic and community groups and getting to understand their issues and concerns. Reports from rural areas and the outer suburbs are rare. The thoughtfully presented science stories, the analysis of new research in health, the balanced and informed cultural commentary, the stories that hold up a mirror to our society and help people form more nuanced, kinder views, that's what is missing. This year Helen Garner wrote a Walkley Award-winning piece of journalism about a 35-year-old South Sudanese woman who drove into a dam and killed 3 of her children.